Hello everyone, welcome to another video on my YouTube. In today's video we'll take a look at Bitcoin and Bitcoin only. We just closed the weekly, quite impressive. We're close to a fresh monthly candle, so a lot to talk about. So let's get straight into it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on the video and subscribe. That helps me a lot to grow on YouTube, so that would be much appreciated. Now let's dive right into the charts. Starting off on the monthly. So as you guys know, we always start on the higher time frames just to give us a general idea of the territory where Bitcoin is trading, if we're in bullish market conditions, bearish market conditions, market structure in general, and then we narrow it down to the lower time frames and we use that bias from the higher time frames to look for entries on trades on the lower time frames. All right, so as always, starting off on the monthly, marking out some important levels on the monthly. Always good to mark out the monthly open, obviously, as I did right here. As you can see, we're currently trading above the monthly open, which is a good sign. The monthly open can be a nice level to look for longs if you're trading above the monthly open, or to look for shorts if you're trading below it. Dips in there or pumps in there, yeah, you're just gonna see that it's gonna be a pivotal level very often. All right, so above the monthly open, that's a good sign. Another level that stands out to me is gonna be this level. So this former all-time high from back in January, which we wicked in May. And then now in June, we retested the level, but failed to break above it so far, obviously. And as you can see, it's just been a really pivotal level. So straight away, you just know that that's gonna be the level we need to break. I've talked about it before. If we see some closes on the daily, ideally on the weekly, above this 110K level, then I think we see acceleration to the upside into 130, 140K. All right. As long as we're below it, we could get choppy price action or wicks in there getting sold, right? Just choppy price action in general. Anyways, let's move down now to the weekly time frame and talk about weekly close. So weekly close, very strong in my opinion. Does that have to mean anything, the close? Well, the higher time frame, the more important the closes are going to be, at least as long as they hold. And what I mean with that is, for example, if you got this previous weekly close down here, what I really like is whenever you get a sweep of some key levels into demand or a sweep of key levels into supply, and you get a bullish or a bearish close that gets invalidated straight away. And that's sort of what we got on this candle right here. We swept the lows aggressively right there. We closed the weekly below the monthly open, and as you can see, we didn't close a weekly below the monthly open on all of these weekly candles. And then a lot of people thought break down, right, to the downside, bearish close, continuation to the downside. But as you can see, instead, what did we do? We swept a lot of lows, took a lot of liquidity, and now smashed back above the monthly open and closed very strong. So what does that mean? What does that tell us? Well, in my opinion, as long as we now hold above the monthly open on the retest, we should be good for higher liquidity. What does higher liquidity mean? Well, what level got swept on the move to the downside? Because that level, the opposite side of that level, is gonna be the next draw to the upside, right? So if you take a look at what lows got swept to the downside, it's gonna be these ones. What highs are unswept to the upside, those are gonna be these ones, right? So on the weekly, as long as we hold above the monthly open, I am targeting these highs next. Okay, it's gonna be more clear on the daily, as you can see right here. What level got swept to the downside? This low right here. What's the opposite level? You can of course always draw your ranges in multiple ways. but it doesn't really matter that much. All we know is that high time frame liquidity to the downside got swept. High time frame liquidity to the upside is unswept, and high time frame market structure is still very bullish, right? If we just take a look at basic market structure, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. We already made a higher high, but I personally see no reason why this wouldn't be making new highs. Okay, of course you'll see a lot of people just call like insane targets and just be bullish no matter what. Always, you know, use as much confluence as possible, use more things than just that on its own. But just these thoughts, just the things I just explained on the monthly and on the weekly, give you the footprint, you know, the overall look of of what you want to see in the markets. And now we can use that on the lower time frames to look for a bit more concrete plans, right? So that's exactly what we're gonna do. We'll narrow it down and head over to the 4 hour. Just gonna mark out this high as well. That's the current all-time high level. Let's mark that out. All-time high. Okay, go to the 4 hour. What do we have here? So the weekend move, right, already swept the highs right there. We swept last week's high, so potentially see some downside. I've posted this scenario on Twitter over the weekend already, that the thing I wanted to see was ideally downside early in the week, sweep the lows, and then look for longs to target new highs. And that's still what I want to see here. We just swept those lower time frame highs right there. We know that we're looking for higher time frame upside, so we're looking for longs, ideally on a lower time frame sweep into some key levels. Which what would that be? Well, we know we have our monthly open here. We know we have some lower time frame lows right there. We know that this is a pivotal area. As you can see, the price action around there, very pivotal. Resistance here, support here. So what am I looking for here? Ideally, we sweep these lows, reclaim this, and then send it higher from there. Okay, we don't know how low we will sweep into the monthly open. Could potentially be a little bit lower, for example in there. I would keep my invalidation pretty wide at first. As you can see, if you draw your OTE, it's gonna be pretty far down. Sorry, OTE is gonna be all the way down here. You could use very wide stops to start with and trail stops and add upon confirmation. That would be then something like this. If you want to be aggressive, look for longs on the monthly open, retest, keep your stops there just in case we do something like this, right? Test lower and then smash back above the monthly open and trade higher from there. But keep your stops there, keep it safe, right? And then as you see strength into this area, because let's say we drop lower from here, what's going to be the supply where we started dumping from? That's going to be this area right here. If you then see a reclaim of this area and you see strength, right, that's going to be your confirmation that likely the low here is going to be in, and you're going to be targeting new all-time highs. So at that point you could add to your positions and trail your stops in here towards this low. Okay, so that's sort of how I'm watching what I'm looking for Bitcoin. So looking for downside now, I'm taking it easy, right? Let's see where the Monday low is gonna be. For example, if we do something like this, front run these lows, then we'll look for a Monday low sweep and that low. Let's say we already sweep it, we're seeing some downside, so we could go for it today. I'll still wait a bit, right, in case we go for the Monday low sweep tomorrow, and then I'll take it from there, take it easy, look for longs, wide stops, right? That's how you do it. People are always scared for low risk to reward levels, but there's no point in chasing after high risk to reward setups if the probability of your setup playing out is super low, you know, and if you get stopped out a ton of times. So then I'd rather go for lower risk to reward, but a higher probability and more confirmation. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. Apart from that, right, if we front run this and reclaim this, then I think it's go time from there. Although if I'm looking at price action right here, I doubt that we front run these lows, but of course anything is possible. And then the bearish scenario, if we fail to hold above the monthly open and we break below the monthly open again, then I'll be watching price action around these range lows, right? Look for, more than likely, I'm gonna be looking for longs there. First target will then be the monthly open, hold some in case we reclaim, and then target a lot higher from there. If this area doesn't hold and we break below these lows, yeah, then we're gonna have to target a lot lower. But at the moment, I'm bullish on Bitcoin, targeting all-time highs. Just looking for entries on margin in the ways I just explained. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I will be posting my setups as always in the Discord. So if you want to join that, it's completely free. All I'm asking is to sign up with the link in the description on Blowfin. You can trade all kinds of altcoins there and Bitcoin, of course. So get your account ready, make an account, make a deposit, message me on Discord and we'll sort things out. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, please, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.